And this isn't a gotcha show, but I do want to ask about it, that says you are currently 81 years old.
Who the hell told you that?
Yeah.
I remember one time Corn Pop called me an old fart, and I said, hey man, my hairy legs still bring the girls to the yard, and I still have my sense of smell, so how about that?
I say free speech forever, but do I actually agree with free speech forever for everyone? Well, the answer to that question is yes. The answer to that query is yes. I do. I want Joe Biden to talk as much as possible. I want AOC to talk as much as possible. Every time Rashida Tlaib opens her mouth, like it's gold for our company. I want Ilhan Omar to say more things. We need to play with the Minneapolis police. Thank you. Tell me what you believe. Tell me what you think. I want more talking, not less talking. However, there are some smart people around Joe Biden, I guess, because they have thrown a rabies muzzle on Joe Biden. Joe Biden is no longer allowed to talk to people. He's not allowed to talk to the press. They are trying as hard as they can they're calling Wuhan every single day. Please, God, just like the next virus, please, I'm begging you. Where's the next virus? We gotta lock this son of a bitch up in the basement again. Please don't let him talk anymore. We gotta lock him in the basement. With COVID, there was like this rule that everyone respected, that Joe Biden was just locked in a dungeon next to all of the classified documents he was selling to the Chinese. And now Joe Biden has to because there is no lockdowns, Joe Biden has to wander around amongst normal people. Even when he's on his own private little Epstein Island where he spent Christmas, true, wonderful, moral, the most moral and wonderful people, truly, the Bidens. Every single Christmas they escape the country and actually go down to a private island and hang out on a private island. Actually, not too far from Epstein's Island. So, just warm memories for Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden did a New Year's Eve phone-in or call-in to the New Year's Eve programming from his private island, okay? So Joe Biden's on this private island in this billionaire's mansion, and he's down there with Hunter, and he's down there with Jill, and he's down there with what I have to assume is like a phalanx of doctors, like from a Marvel movie. The kind of doctor, it was like this whole team of doctors that's down there how do we keep him going? We don't know. We don't have the technology. How do we keep him alive? We're not sure. Whatever they gave Joe Biden, boy, he didn't look great. And of course, we're doing this for a reason, okay? I want to show you this for a reason. I want to do a play-by-side because I want to talk to you. I want to go step-by-step for this. This is going to be like ESPN. I want to do like a step-by-step, what's going on in this interview. This was the last time they availed Joe Biden. This was the last time in 2023 that they had veiled Joe Biden to a pre-scripted interview question from Ryan Seacrest. Okay, a real tough interview that Ryan Seacrest, Mr. American Idol. And it went so poorly that you should never feel bad for Joe Biden, but you actually start feeling bad for Joe Biden here. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's roll the tape. And I'm getting to a point here. And the point is that they, even in the most simple environments, in the easiest possible softball, not even softball, we're talking Chuck E. Cheese ball pit, environments for Joe Biden, he just fills his depends. And the interviewers, even if they are left-wing Democrats, are what is wrong with you? Okay, so let's start. Here we go. Here's Joe Biden's live interview. This wasn't live. This was a pre-tape, okay? Because you notice there's nobody in the audience. You can't see anybody in the streets. So this was a pre-tape. They wouldn't even take Joe Biden live from his private Epstein Island in the Bahamas, where he's spending Christmas vacation because he's, remember, he's just a regular American like you. He's just working class American, right? Here we go. I'm going to try not to stop every 2 seconds here to rip this thing to shreds. But here's what happened last time they put Joe Biden on TV. Here we go.
Welcome back to New Year's Rockin' Eve, presented by Amazon Prime. It is Ryan Seacrest with you, and we're so honored that joining us right now are two very special guests, President Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden. It's nice to see you once again. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Ryan. Happy New Year.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, my
Mr.
God.
President, before we start here about the new year, I'm curious, what sort of holiday foods have you been enjoying over the last few days?
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've eaten pasta, which I love. Eating a lot of chicken parmesan. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
It's good to know that you're eating like the rest of us here across the country. As you look back and reflect on 2023, what sort of memories, highlights stand out for you?
Well, one of the big highlights stands out for me is my dad used to have an expression. He'd say, Joey, a job's about a lot more than the paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. So many people through the Midwest and in the center of the country, their factories are shipped overseas the last couple of times out. And they're losing.
Stop. Okay, I got to pause. Okay. So, first off, what's wrong with Joe Biden's face? Joe Biden looks like, what have they done to his face? Like, what do they do? Joe Biden looks like he has been laying face first in salt water with poisonous sea urchins stinging his face. Why does Joe Biden look like a glazed donut that just came rolling off the Krispy Kreme conveyor belt? What the hell do they do with this guy? Joe Biden looks like he's simply been rubbing his face against every one of Jill Biden's dresses, and Jill Biden's dresses are filled with venomous poison, which is actually exactly what her dress looks like. Jill Biden's dress looks like if Freddie Mercury had a bedazzling gun with, I don't know, name a pop star. I don't know pop star. Name pop star, Royce. Royce doesn't know. Tina Turner. All right, Tina Turner and Freddie Mercury huff all of the glue and do all of the drugs in Hunter Biden's dresser, and then they make a dress. And that's what we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? It's almost like a poor Royce. Royce destroyed. It's like Liza Minnelli did all of the coke left at the White House and got herself 12 bedazzlers and then just like went ham. And it's really, really embarrassing on a garbage bag. That's kind of what it looks like. A garbage bag bedazzler. Okay? And it's pretty bad where Alice Cooper, we thought Alice Cooper had a really good career going. Alice Cooper apparently has seen hard times, had to marry Joe Biden, make it to the White House, revive the career. What the hell? Now that's just how they look. Ryan Seacrest's question so far has been, what have you been eating? And Joe Biden couldn't even remember what he's been eating. He had to be reminded by Jill, hey, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Slaps him, hey, ice cream. And then Joe Biden gets asked, what's your favorite part of 2023? And what you just heard him say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop the video anymore, okay? I just have to get a break here to encapsulate all this. What you heard Joe Biden say is, my favorite part of 2023 is when everybody lost their jobs. Everybody in the Midwest lost their jobs. Everybody in the Rust Belt lost their job. Every red state, Republican state, every hardworking American, they all lost their jobs. Okay? That's it. That's what you heard Joe Biden say there. So, with that table setting, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue.
Losing hope and faith. So we brought a lot of jobs back to the United States. People are in a position to be able to make a living now, and they've created a lot of jobs, over 14 million. And I guess I just feel good that the American people got up. They've been through a rough time with pandemic, but now we're coming back. They're back.
Well, we've got 1 million+ people here in Times Square and so many eyes on the big ball for the big moment tonight as we get ready for 2024.
This isn't
What
live.
are your hopes for the new year for both of you?
Well, my hope is that everybody has a healthy, happy, and safe New Year. But beyond that, I hope that they understand that we're in a better position than any country in the world to lead the world. And we're coming back, and it's about time.
Dr. Biden, your hopes for America?
Well, I think it's what I would always tell my students. Be positive, be optimistic, and be kind to one another. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Enjoy 2 scoops of ice cream tonight, both of you. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Low key based Ryan Seacrest making an old person joke at Joe Biden. Enjoy your ice cream, pal. Make sure they have the Depends trash can at the ready beside your bed. But I really got one for Jill Biden. Okay. So first off, Alice Cooper, great career move. Like who's seen it? Nobody's ever seen it before. The goth rock star moving to the White House, took the bedazzler with him, and there you like, good for you. All right. And first off, we just want to say congratulations, Alice Cooper. Nobody's ever seen this kind of a career move. Maybe Ozzy Osbourne will be next. You never know. Ozzy Osbourne, marry Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, or whatever. I don't know. You'll see that, it's really impressive. Stop sniffing all the paint in the White House, right? Like, and making dresses. Don't do that anymore. But the final thing I'll say is Jill Biden's advice for the new year is something she always tells her students. So, what students do you have, Dr. Jill? Like, where are they, please? Is there any, presumably we live in a social media world, right? Where like there's leaks everywhere and everyone has a cell phone. Where's the photos or videos of Jill Biden teaching people? I'll stop doing this with my hands. I can't. Where is Jill Biden teaching? Dr. Jill, she has students. She always tells them things. So presumably we'd be able to find her class, right? Presumably we'd be able to figure out where Dr. Jill works, right? Where does she work? Nobody knows. Can we sign up for her class? Could I enroll? Please? I just went to community college, like maybe Dr. Jill could teach me something. Nobody knows. Nobody can figure it out. They're such liars. They're such liars. Okay, we made it really funny. All right, okay. Since we're here, let's play the meme. Might as well. Here's the meme of Joe of that. Here's our version of that interview. We made this meme. Here you go.
Sort of memories, highlights stand out for you? All right, and we got an Alice Cooper meme. Maybe we will save that one because we're getting a little long in the tooth here. Okay, I just can't believe how bad that interview is. Again, it's impossible to state the interview questions were, if I recall here, because I just watched the video and I've watched it like 50 times. The video should be hung in the Smithsonian as like a master class in how to fail a cotton ball pit interview. Like that is the softest. That interview is the softest you could possibly get. It's softer than soft serve, softer than Joe Biden's frontal lobe is how soft that interview is. And Joe Biden couldn't even get through it. Joe Biden didn't know what he had eaten. What did you eat? I don't know. It's Italian. Ice cream. Jill smacks him. Oh, yeah, okay. He doesn't remember because they're probably feeding him through a feeding tube inserted correctly. But what do I know, ladies and gentlemen? Here's what I do know. If you're talking about somebody who needs a set of Depends on a live TV interview, well, then certainly you're talking about Joe Biden. But you're also talking about Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel had Joe Biden on his program. And Joe Biden went on, again, this is a late-night TV scripted show where the person asking you questions are like mega donors, maxed out donors to your campaign, all right? Members of the Hollywood Illuminati, elite circles. Jimmy Kimmel, one of the worst of them. This guy's a monster. And Jimmy Kimmel is having Joe Biden on. And Jimmy Kimmel actually gets so scared because Joe Biden starts going comatose during a question. They brought Joe Biden on a late-night TV show, again, for like this feather light, cotton ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese style interview. And Joe Biden couldn't cut it. Watch Joe Biden literally trail off, and Jimmy Kimmel has to step in and be like, okay, let's cut to a commercial break.
You're not making any more sense. It's remarkable here.
No question about it.
So there's a lot of major things we've done. But what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well,
we haven't been able to communicate
But
it.
look how the press has changed. Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on the nightly news. So instead of asking a question, anyway, it just everything gets sensationalized in ways that. But I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look.
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more,
I
if you
don't
don't mind.
blame you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, we have some of those commercials.
I
We have some biracial commercials we need to show.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, if Jimmy Kimmel, who wakes up every morning with a rubber blue ball gag in his mouth with the Democrat Party symbol logo on it, in like a little gimp suit from the Democrat Party with a chain on it, right? Being dragged around by the Democrat elites. If Jimmy Kimmel, who is like the public groveling servant to the Democrat Party, can't get Joe Biden over the line during an interview, then you are truly in crisis. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have seen. Joe Biden is in total crisis. He doesn't take questions from the press. Last time he tried to do like a press conference, it was a total and complete train wreck, on fire, dumpster meltdown at the White House. Of course, you all remember. Joe Biden can't remember the names of foreign countries, thinks that Mexico is borders with Israel. Israel-Mexico border. The president, CC. The president of Egypt is named CC. Or the president of Mexico, I don't know. So what are they going to do? They're not going to put Joe Biden in a real interview. They're going to put him in a late night. The best they can possibly do is to bubble wrap him and send him out into late night. So Jimmy Kimmel was too tough. Ryan Seacrest was too hard of a questioner. What'd you eat today, Joe Biden? Ryan, why'd you ask the tough questions? We told you not to go at him. So they go to the dumbest guy in late night, the stupidest person, is Seth Meyers, okay? There's a guy named Seth Meyers. You probably never heard of him. I think he used to be on Saturday Night Live. Anyway, nobody wants to do late night anymore. The ratings are collapsed. Nobody even cares. Nobody watches. But Seth Meyers has this show. And so last night they trotted out Joe Biden. And Joe Biden decided that in spite of hundreds of videos of him falling over on bicycles, on stairs, walking across flat surfaces, he's going to attack Donald Trump's physical fitness and mental acuity. In spite of the fact that Joe Biden's own Department of Justice said that Joe Biden can't remember his own kid's death or his own name or his own time as vice president, despite that fact, and Merrick Garland stamped an approval on that report and sent it out, despite all that, Joe Biden's going to go after Donald Trump last night on Seth Meyers, you had a real tough interview there, on the Seth Meyers show, saying that Donald Trump doesn't know the name of his own wife. Really? Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for you.
You mentioned some classified materials, some documents recently leaked, some classified documents. And this isn't a gotcha show, but I do want to ask about it, that says you are currently 81 years old.
Who the hell told you that?
Yeah.
That's classified.
That's classified. All jokes aside, according to recent polling, this is a real concern for American voters. How do you address that concern going forward as you come up to the 2024 election?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you got to take a look at the other guy. He's about as old as I am, but he can't remember his wife's name.
Yeah.
And, number one. Number two, it's about how old your ideas are. Look, I mean, this is a guy who wants to take us back. He wants to take us back on Roe v. Wade. He wants to take us back on a whole range of issues that are 50, 60 years. They've been solid American positions. And I really think his views on where to take America are older than... Anyway, I don't want to get going.
No, continue the thought, please. What do you mean? Older than what, Joe Biden? Older than you? Older than what? The Mesozoic period, when you first entered the Senate? Joe Biden entered the Senate in 1972. Well, that's a full 15 years before I was born. Joe Biden entered the Senate. Joe Biden entered the Senate like before they had integrated high schools. Joe Biden is on the record saying that integrating the high schools will turn them into racial jungles. That's a quote. So, any questions about that? Seth Meyers? Huh? I mean, I guess I gotta give a compliment to Seth Meyers. At least he asked, he did better than Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel throwing Joe Biden life preservers, doing CPR on set. Also, Joe Biden's main punchline is that Donald Trump can't remember his wife's name? What are you talking about, man? Again, it would be it'd be a sharper critique if we didn't have this footage of Joe Biden literally confusing his wife and his sister. Here we go.
Super Tuesday for nothing. By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me.
Here's my wife. Here's my sister. Where's my sister, wife? Come here. Don't read Ashley Biden's diary. Don't look at my son's laptop. You'll find out how we Bidens are we're a real tight-knit family. Don't you worry about us. Make sure that the shower curtains have locks on them. In the Biden house, I'm not sure what's going on. Hurt my leg because I was chasing after my dog in the shower. Real story. Nobody's ever been able to explain that. I think we actually have the clip that proves it. Joe Biden, why are you in a boot, Joe Biden? Joe Biden says, I was yanking my dog's tail in the shower and chasing him around while I was naked. Not supposed to say that, Mr. President. Here we are. So that's a real story. Again, there's a lot of funny things to make up and make jokes about Joe Biden, but that's the actual story. So Joe Biden, in his whole I'm a strong leader, I am resolute, I am very intelligent, interview with Seth Meyers, because you go on Seth Meyers in order to get these very important lines out. He was asked what his 2024 agenda is. Joe Biden doesn't know what year it is. Here we go.
What would you want to do? What's your 2024 agenda? Because I feel like we live in such crazy times that is one of the things I feel we hear less about.
Look, the 2020 agenda is to finish the job.
It's not 2020. What is wrong? Oh, it's too good. Of course, the tough questions. Joe Biden, will you be endorsed by Taylor Swift? Here we go.
My favorite one recently is there are 18% of Americans, according to recent polling, have believe that you and Taylor Swift are actually working in cahoots. And after the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, you posted this on social media and you wrote just like we drew it up. Now, I have you on the hot spot here. Can you confirm or deny that there is an active conspiracy between you and Miss Swift?
Where are you getting this information? It's classified.
It's classified information?
That's classified
you won't share it with us?
I'm not gonna, but I will tell you, she did endorse me in 2020.
She did. I bet you might be wondering. You think it might come around again?
I told you it's classified.
Oh, okay. Got it. See? He's already used the joke a couple of times. So what they do with Joe Biden is very much like Toy Story, like Woody, right? There's you pull the thing and if somebody's poisoned the water hole. You pull it one more time, pull the string one more time, and say, there's a snake in my boot. Joe Biden gets told lines. He gets told the questions ahead of time. We already know this. We have the confirmation. We have literally the photographs. We have the photographs of the note cards with the names and the reporters and what the questions they're going to ask. So he gets told everything ahead of time, and then Joe Biden's given a script. There are scripted responses. And so that's why you hear Joe Biden go, it's classified. It's classified. It's classified. That's why when Ryan Seacrest asks a real zinger, like, what'd you eat last night? Joe Biden, it's classified. Doesn't know. Ice cream. Jill Biden. Even when Joe Biden has the damn words in front of him, okay? This is a clip from a night ago at the White House. Even when Joe Biden has the damn words printed out in front of him in black and white, you get scrambled eggs on the brain. Again, softer than Joe Biden. The soft serve that he eats is as soft as his frontal lobe. Here's Joe Biden trying to deliver a Lincoln quote at the White House because Joe Biden's been convinced by every historian that he himself is like a Lincoln-like FDR figure. He has these like psychotic historians, Michael Beschloss is one of them, who like whisper in his ear all the time about what a historic figure he is. Here's Joe Biden, I mean, quite literally, butchering Abraham Lincoln in the White House. Go.
And you know, stand here in front of this portrait of the man behind me here. He said, and I want to make sure I get the quote exactly right. He said, the better angels, he said, we must address the council and address the better angels of our nature. And we do well to remember what else he said. He said, we're not enemies, but we're friends. This is in the part of the Civil War. He said, we're not enemies, but we're friends. We must not be enemies. Folks, and I've been around, I know I don't look it, I've been around a long while. And I mean this sincerely. Politics has gotten too bitter.
What the hell was that? Oh, and I love, it's so rich. Politics has gotten too bitter. From the guy who is locking up MAGA grannies for walking into the U.S. Capitol with their 25-cent American flags. The man who is arresting his fellows, sending FBI SWAT teams all around the country to arrest peaceful protesters who did nothing, who did not act violently. Politics has gotten too bitter, says the guy who's trying to remove from the ballot his chief political enemy, who's kicking his ass in every state. And we have the polling. We'll read it to you in just a second. We're just having too much fun here. The guy who has to look up to the sky to try and remember the Lincoln quote. The Lincoln quote that's right in front of him, spelled out in black and white on the paper, literally in front of him. Spelled out. That guy is probably looking up because Joe Biden can see ghosts. I say this because we have on good authority that Joe Biden has the superhuman capacity to literally talk with spirits. Maybe it's because he's so old that they're just calling to him. But on multiple occasions, we've watched Joe Biden literally speak to ghosts. Here's a good example where Joe Biden talked to a French/German president, because that's the thing, who died in 1996. Go.
Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. It was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, you know, how long are you back for?
Mitterrand from France isn't alive. He died in 1996. You old fart. I say that with actual bitterness and malice in my heart. I probably shouldn't. Got to go to church, say my prayers. But it's bad when you have kids. I have children. I don't want them to go die in foreign wars. Joe Biden is starting wars in every corner of the earth. I think on purpose. I think Joe Biden wants wars. There's no explanation for what's going on in Ukraine other than Joe Biden wants a war and wants the war to continue. It should have been peace in Ukraine already, years ago. Joe Biden is an evil person. And I'd be able to accept that accept that he's making the world a much dangerous place. It'd be easier to contemplate if Joe Biden could even remember who we're fighting. Joe Biden doesn't care if your kids get sent off to some desert to die. Joe Biden doesn't even know who we're fighting a war against. And that's been proven here.
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words. There's some movement. There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas, but it seems to be a little over the top. We're not sure where it is. There's a continuing negotiation right now.
Who else is screaming at the screen going, spit it out, spit it out, just spit it out. It's Hamas. You old jack wagon. But nothing. This donkey gets trotted out to go talk about this war. Okay, you all know my thoughts on Israel Hamas. Don't really, that's happening thousands of miles away. Doesn't involve me. Hope everyone, hope people stop dying, actually. That's actually what I hope. The same thing with Ukraine and Russia. Hope people stop dying. Stop killing each other. The end. Don't you dare say that I need to send a penny or a single American boot to your hellhole 5,000, 10,000 miles away from where I live. Enough. You know my thoughts on all of this, okay? So that's my thoughts. All right? Please stop killing each other. It'd be easier to handle that fact that Joe Biden is actively trying to get all of our kids sent to go die in another desert somewhere if Joe Biden even knew where the hell he was sending them. So let's say that America decided that it would declare war on Hamas and the Gaza Strip right now. Okay? Let's say America decided to do that. Joe Biden would send all of our troops to Mexico to go fight Gaza, to go to Gaza. They'd all be in Cabo San Lucas. Maybe our American soldiers deserve to go to Cabo and Cancun. But Joe Biden has made very clear that that's where he thinks Gaza is, somewhere in Mexico. Watch.
The conduct of the response in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, has been over the top. I think that, as you know, initially the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. I talked to Bibi to open the gate on the Israeli side.
You're a real tough guy. Real tough guy, Joe Biden. Joe Biden can talk to these leaders of Mexico and have them open the gates, which is actually exactly what Joe Biden has done. Mexico has opened the gates, not Gaza. It's very, very different. Joe Biden opened the gates, and Mexico just said, roll on through. Strangely, Freudian slip there. And you'd have to say, maybe Joe Biden's on something. He's on pills. Maybe he's drunk. Joe Biden went to he is Irish. Joe Biden went to a brewery recently. Tell me if you can translate this. Let's go. Here's what Joe Biden said at a brewery about brew beer here. Go.
The beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this refinery. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes. I wonder why it's called.
Boo brew who here, Earth Rider, thanks to the Great Lakes. That's the best we can do. We got to do a bouncing ball on that one. We got to do get me a bouncing ball. I want the captions, and then I want to follow the bouncing ball. Brew beer here, Earth Rider, thanks to the Great Lakes. There you go. This guy thinks he's Lincoln. This is the guy who thinks he's Lincoln or FDR from a wordsmithing standpoint. Okay, final thing. Joe Biden went to go worship Moloch at the Child Sacrifice Convention and was speaking to a bunch of hysterical, unhappy, leftist white women who were covered in cat fur with cheap handbags filled with Zoloft and Xanax rattling around in little bottles. And Joe Biden decided to declare to all of these women that he has their back. Not the way that you've seen on Hunter Biden's laptop, of course. Biden's have women their different way there anyway. No, he has their back. Don't you worry. Joe Biden with a clear, solid, concise message to the leftist, to the unhappy, screeching leftist women of America. Let's go.
We'll teach Donald Trump a valuable lesson. Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit.
Okay. You hear that, ladies? Don't mess with the women in America unless you want to get the benefit. And he goes on Seth Meyers' Late-Night TV, and he's allowed to talk about how Joe Biden's allowed to talk about how Donald Trump can't remember things. Got it. Okay, great. The protection racket is collapsing. Joe Biden is proving that he cannot be helped. And I personally believe that in spite of everything, they know they can't. They are polling outside the margins of fraud. And that there's nothing that they can do to stop what's about to happen in 2024.